Hello, my name is Wayne Finley. I'm the Publicity Director here at the 2019 KOTESOL International Conference, and this is...
Sunil Mahtani. I'm a Publicity Manager.
And of course, more importantly, this is...
Well, hi, I'm Rod Ellis, a visitor and a speaker.
Yes, and how's your impression of the conference so far? So, I watched your plenary speech, really enjoyed it. How's your experience?
Yeah, I'm enjoying the conference a lot, and it seems to me swinging along very, very well. I was actually a featured speaker at KOTESOL maybe 10, 11 years ago, and I've noticed how much the conference has changed. 10 years ago, it struck me as much more a commercial operation with all the publishers there, busy selling their books, etc., etc. The conference now doesn't have that sort of strong commercial element, and to my mind is better for it.
Yes, I would agree with that. Now it feels to me just to have a lot more passionate educators, just really can't wait to share what they're doing in the classroom and learn from each other, more so than the commercial element, I would say.
Yes. One of the things I really enjoyed about your plenary was the difference between, pointing out the difference between an activity and a real task. Because I think a lot of teachers think of wonderful activities where we find them on the internet, but they're not necessarily real tasks for task-based learning.
Yeah, I mean, as I pointed out in my talk, I think one of the problems with task-based language teaching is that many people do not really have a clear understanding as to what a task is, right? This creates a lot of problems, and there's a tendency there's a bandwagon tendency to sort of say, oh yes, I'm using tasks, right? Because they know that task means good, yeah? But when you look carefully at what they're doing, it's actually very controlled, more exercise-like.
Yes, yeah, especially in a place like South Korea where they're so shy to participate and you feel like you just want to give them everything. As a teacher, we give them too much sometimes, maybe, in this country. So I enjoyed that because now I have more of a checklist to go through and really let them have more ownership of it.
Well, you know, I mean, the problem in a country like Korea or China or Asia in general is that students can have studied English for 6, 7 years and have no procedural ability, right? And the reason they've had no procedural ability is because they've never really had to experience English as a language to use to communicate. And to do that, you need task-based language teaching, because the whole purpose of task-based language teaching is to motivate communication so that people can develop the procedural ability in order to communicate.
If there's a teacher watching this right now who is not really familiar with task-based teaching but wants to start incorporating it into their class, what would you recommend they do first?
I think what I would recommend first is not to make a sudden switch to task-based language teaching. I think what I would recommend is that you set aside maybe 15 minutes inside your normal lessons to do a task with your students, right? And that task should not have a designated language focus. It should have a clear outcome, communicative outcome, which you can look to see whether the students have achieved it, right? So I would start off by experimenting with doing tasks in small slots in your classroom, right? And the other point that I would emphasize is that if students are not used to doing tasks, if they don't have the procedural ability to be able to speak, right? Then the initial tasks that you need to do have to be input-based tasks, they have to be listening tasks, they have to be simple reading tasks, but tasks that are linked to achieving some outcome.
Yeah, I think a teacher probably has to think about it carefully, not just, I guess, jump in the deep end. Everything is all task-based teaching, and forget everything else. Yeah.
No, I mean, I would. One of the things I often hear is from Korean teachers or Chinese teachers, "Oh, I can't do task-based language teaching. I don't have enough confidence in my own English, etc." Right? So I think we need a way of helping them around that. And one way that we could help them around that is, again, through doing listening tasks, where the input is going to come from you as the teacher, but you can prepare that input. You can prepare a script.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you have to follow that script religiously.
Yeah.
You can improvise around that script. But if you have a script for your input-based task, then that will give you the confidence that you can actually perform this task with your students and use the English.
Yeah, yeah. So going with a very clear plan as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've asked all the questions I want to ask you. Dr. Ellis, I'm very happy. I do task-based teaching in my class, but after your plenary today, I'm definitely going to be trying even more, but carefully, with a plan.
Yes. What did you think about my suggestion of using class time to do tasks, but giving them homework which perhaps involves more traditional type language learning activities?
Yeah, I watched a workshop last week. I think a lot of teachers are trying this, I guess, through flipped learning.
Yeah.
Similar, so they are kind of doing the traditional elements at home, and then in the class is more the task-based, more active, hands-on.
Right, except I don't see that there has to necessarily be a very close connection between what you ask them to do at home and what you ask them to do in class. If you try to make a very close connection, they'll tend to treat what you do in class as practicing language rather than doing tasks.
So we do have some good news. Dr. Ellis gave a very good plenary speech today, and we have recorded it. It's come out very well, great video quality, great audio quality, and soon that will be on the official KOTESOL YouTube channel. So stay tuned, you'll be able to hear from Dr. Ellis very soon.
And hope you enjoy it.